Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the meeting of the Delhi Township Board of Trustees for May the 28th, 2025. We have a nice crowd here this evening. Welcome, everyone. We've got the fire departments here and the graduates from the Fire Academy and their folks and the swearing in. So it's a nice to see so many faces out there. We'll begin tonight's meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by a moment of silence. Tonight's moment of silence is a moment of remembrance and a moment of gratitude and thank you. First off, to the Delhi Township Veterans Association for the wonderful memorial service that they put on every year in honor of the 21 Delhi heroes who lost their lives in sacrifice for the freedom of the United States. So that's my moment of silence, those 21 heroes of Delhi Township that we recognize at the memorial service this weekend. So if we could please begin with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, everyone. All right. We will begin tonight's meeting with the approval of the minutes. Mr. Luby.
Motion to approve the minutes from the special meeting on March 31st, 2025, and our regular meeting on May 14th, 2025.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Yes.
Motion approved.
A motion to approve overtime for pay period ending May 13th, 2025.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Yes.
Motion approved.
Motion to approve bills for payment.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Yes.
Motion approved. Report from the fiscal officer, Mr. Luby.
Our cash receipts since our last meeting, on 5/15, we received $34,000 for cable franchise fees. On 5/20, we received $60,000 for the motor vehicle license tax, gasoline tax, and local government distribution fund. And on 5/21, $19,000 for our permissive motor vehicle license tax. As far as disbursements, we paid out $55,000 to Midtown Health, and that was for our April funding. And we did have several loan payments to Huntington Bank for DTS, and we paid $282,000 to Huntington for our tax-exempt bond payment. We paid $156,000 for our taxable bond payment, and $207,000 to Huntington for our tax increment revenue series 2024 note. And on 5/22, our payroll was $351,000. That's all I have.
Thank you, Mr. Luby. We'll begin with trustees' correspondence. Trustee Davis.
Yes, two items, please. One is a personal experience that I had with our fire division. Ironic that they are here tonight celebrating the graduation. A couple of weeks ago, I woke up with a severe pain on the right side. Never having a kidney stone before, wasn't quite sure what it was. So my sister happened to be there, ran me up, and we got to the 36s here where I about collapsed on your front lawn. And we're banging on the door, and they came to the door. Kevin Kramer, Haley Dannemiller, and Jake Crawford were the three that were involved. And you know, you always hear it, and I see the letters. We all read them about great service and things like that. But that was incredible. But one of the other gentleman paramedic that was in there was Pete Gardner. And I know we recently had an acknowledgement of Pete Gardner here for some success, which is awesome. And so I got to experience that. But just the whole crew, it was awesome. And you guys deal with that every day, day in and day out. Our safety services, our police, fire, all of it. To experience it for the first time myself, and the pain of having kidney stones, that was amazing. After a 2-day stay at the hospital, I got out, thought I'd do something fun, taking the Pete Rose game, which was a lot of fun, only to see Pete Gardner, the firefighter from Delhi Township, acknowledged on the big screen for first responders. I thought, I can't get away from this guy. With that, this big pain came, no, but so fantastic. Thank you all. Thanks for the team, all of you. Our Delhi residents are so honored and blessed to have someone like yourselves. You know, we talk about the response times that we celebrate here in Delhi, and I'll tell you what, when you have someone knocking on your door in less than 5 minutes, when you hit 911, that is a gift. That is incredible. And that's the dedication and the services that are provided to you. That is one. Two was the other, that I saw something on social media, which sometimes we like to call social meanness, because sometimes people have nothing else to do except talk about everything going wrong in the world. But this happened to catch my eye, and I'll say the name because I believe it's on social media. This came from a Kay Chrissy, and it says, her to Delhi Township, it said, if you have passed by a homie, if you would, homeless friend in Delhi in the last couple of days, please comment where you've seen them. I am passing out plates, summer clothes for the homeless all over Cincinnati, and I want to make sure that I can get to everyone that I can to make sure I'm not spending most of the time driving around looking for them. If you have, if you have nothing nice to say, please, about the homeless, keep it to yourselves. Everyone struggles in some ways, and in today's day and age, at home, it costs more than you can afford. So this person is giving her time to go out and find those less fortunate, those that we might see every day here, the streets of western Hamilton County, the streets of downtown Cincinnati and beyond. But I was so impressed with some of the comments that you see. You know, lots of times you read on there and everyone just starts just jumping on it, and you're like, man, for someone doing something good. One person says, this is amazing. God bless you for your kindness. Another one says, I wouldn't be where I am today if others didn't help me. What a great ministry this is. Thank you for reaching out to the less fortunate. So, Kay Chrissy, whoever you are, God bless you. What a great journey. What a great ministry to serving others. And man, thank you. It was refreshing, if you would, to see that, to read it. And I hope there's many more Kay Chrissys out there in the world who try to help other people. Thank you.
Okay. Trustee Sturts?
Trustee Seavey alluded to it already. I'm going to thank the Delhi Veterans Association for a wonderful ceremony on Sunday celebrating Memorial Day. And they do it every year. And I am very honored, and I know all of us here are very honored to be included in your ceremony. So thank you for always remembering them, those who gave the ultimate sacrifice. So thank you.
All right. I would like to congratulate our Delhi Township graduates of Elder, St. X, Seton, Mercy McCauley. I had the privilege of walking in the graduates of Oak Hills High School 2 weeks ago, and I have to tell you, it's really inspiring to see the number of scholarships, the number of people going into the military, and the number of people walking off as an apprentice in a trade. So, and I know the other schools experience the same thing, so I just want to say congratulations, class of 2025. You made it, and it's going to be great to watch what you have to contribute to Delhi Township. Thank you. Okay, we do have a very special presentation tonight, and that special presentation happens to be the Citizens Fire Academy graduation. Chief Campbell.
Thank you, trustees. Like we mentioned before, we have not had a Citizens Fire Academy in quite some time, so it is my honor to introduce Lieutenant Kramer tonight, so that he can tell a little bit about the Academy, this year's class, and our fine folks that graduate tonight.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. Before I speak, I'm just going to get straight into it and introduce a couple of speakers, and we're going to start with Steve Howe. Steve Howe. Yeah, 3 minutes, cut him off.
Well, good evening, everyone. And first of all, I would like to say we made it. Holy smokes, Batman. I mean, Chief Doug Campbell. It's truly an honor to stand here today as one of the graduates of the Delhi Township Citizens Fire Academy. When we first signed up, many of us were just curious citizens. Maybe we wanted to learn about fire trucks, response times, or how to do CPR without passing out. And yes, we did all that. But what we walked away with was something far greater, a front row seat to the heart of the fire service. Looking back, it all started with a warm welcome. Some of the maps of Delhi that may or may not confuse you, and a deep dive into the Delhi Township, the Delhi Fire Department history, which, by the way, is more exciting than an Oak Hill's average high school history class. We toured the stations, 2 of them, and yes, we wanted to scope out to see which one had the best snacks. We dove into EMS operations and got our hands on tools like the self-contained breathing apparatus, which is basically a high-tech backpack that makes you sound like Darth Vader and sweat a lot like you ran a marathon. We tackled everything from fire behavior, and yes, it was hot, to learn how to safely cut open crashed cars, to rescue people. Who knew that could be so much fun? And to rope training, and proof that firefighters can, in fact, tie knots that don't immediately fall apart. And CPR, which showed us that chest compressions are both life-saving and a free upper body workout. But this academy wasn't just about learning techniques. It was about learning people. We saw that the fire service isn't about putting out fires, it's about stepping forward when others step back. It's about being ready day or night to protect lives, homes, and the peace of mind. We saw firsthand the grit, the skill, and the heart that firefighters bring to every call. They support one another like family, and they treat the community like family also. The smoke alarm blitz gave us the chance to give back, installing alarms and engaging with residents. We also toured the Hamilton County Communication Center, which opened our eyes to the calm, collective chaos of dispatchers who struggle with calls with superhuman grace. Through all of it, we learned, we struggled, we laughed, and we sweat a lot. But more than that, we grew. We built friendships, we gained confidence, and we developed a deep respect for the incredible professionals who wear the uniform. To the instructors and the staff of Delhi Township Fire Department, thank you. You opened your doors, you opened your world to us. You shared not just your knowledge, but your passion, your patience, and your purpose. You lit a spark in each one of us, that one that burns with appreciation, pride, and a sense of responsibility. To my fellow graduates, congratulations. This wasn't just a class, it was a bridge. We came in as curious citizens. We leave as informed advocates, as allies to our fire department, ambassadors to our community. Let's carry this experience forward, and let's share what we've learned, and let's continue to support those who dedicate their lives to protecting ours. And yes, one more thing. Chief, you should let one of us newly graduated Citizens Fire Academy instructors, or citizens, try to back that truck into that bay. Thank you all, and congratulations to the Delhi Township Citizens Fire Academy of 2025.
Thank you, Steve.
Thank you, Steve. And then we have one more speaker, Natasha Trux.
Well, I didn't think everybody would be looking at the back of my head, so I just wanted to look at everyone. Hi. It's pretty much the same, just a little different. Thank you guys for coming out. I really appreciate it, and I know that you guys do as well. My name is Natasha, and I'm proud to be a part of the 2025 class of Delhi Citizens Fire Academy. When I first applied, I had no idea what I was signing up for. Honestly, I was quite nervous. The what-if thoughts were adding up really fast. However, when I walked into Station 33, all of those left as I saw every variety of human ready and eager to learn. This experience has given us a rare insight into a world that is often shielded in our daily lives. We've learned the challenges that firefighters face and the critical importance of their work. These life-changing classes we attended were not only educational, but also empowering, equipping us with essential skills to make a difference in our community. After 10 weeks, we transformed into a supportive group that broke barriers and grew together. My biggest takeaway from this experience is that we are all truly capable of whatever we set our mind to. We each faced unique challenges, but I believe we overcame them, gaining some experience and confidence along the way. We learned something new each night that helped transform our fears into valuable skills. Although I am not a citizen of Delhi, I'm continuously impressed and a bit envious of how deeply the Delhi Fire Department cares for its community. Their commitment goes beyond mere service. They can genuinely seek to empower us, and it's amazing to witness. I want to express my sincere gratitude to those firefighters who dedicated their time to instruct our class. Despite their demanding schedules, they constantly showed up, often off duty and sometimes while on duty, to share their experience and passion with us. Understanding the personal sacrifices that this profession entails, I greatly appreciate their commitment to teaching something that they really care about. Thank you for your unwavering service and dedication to us, but to all of Delhi. As we graduate today, let us carry forward the lessons that we've learned and the strength that we've gained. Let's continue to support our brave firefighter and advocate for our communities, demonstrating that together we can protect our tomorrows today. Thank you.
Thank you.
At this time, if the entire class could come up, we'll have you guys all come up and stand over here by Chief Helms and Chief Campbell. In December of 2019, we had an officers meeting, and Chief Campbell identified the need for a Citizens Fire Academy, December of 2019. We didn't even get to the planning stages, and then COVID happened. So this is something that Chief Helms and I had been working on for about the past year and a half. Kind of sharing some of the things that Natasha said. One of the first things that I noticed is that we had several, I think the word she used was varieties or nature of different characteristics of people. Someone in the group actually wants to be a firefighter. Somebody's considering a potential career change. One of us is a small business owner who just wanted the knowledge. One of us is a Steelers fan. One of us is a Delhi Township Trustee, and a lot of us live in the township and wanted to learn and or how to be more involved. Some of the things that we did, as Mr. House said, we learned the overview of Delhi, we learned the stations, the apparatus, the township as a whole. We did fire and EMS operations with Lieutenant Summers, the evolution of equipment like a battery-powered tools on our trucks, the power cots on our ambulances, and our Lucas CPR device. We talked about safety. We did fire hose and supply with Lieutenant Sunderhouse, our incident management system, and SCBAs and radios with Pete Gardner. They took a tour of Hamilton County Communications Center with Lieutenant McKnight. They learned rope and how to rappel with Lieutenant Bankin. They cut up a real car using real tools with Lieutenant Eckler. And then they were able to put out real fire with our new fire extinguisher simulator with Chief Helms. They also got to see the fire behavior dollhouse, which was not a live burn, which we have done in the past, but I actually told them that I thought that dollhouse and the fire behavior simulator was actually more beneficial in what we do every day as firefighters than to go into the live burn building. And then we did CPR and stop the bleed, and we had Greg Wright. If you could wave your hand in the air, Greg Wright. Greg Wright's a volunteer with us, so big special thanks to him. He helped out. He was there every night. Greg Wright, yeah, thank you. Greg Wright is a graduate of our 2000 Citizens Fire Academy, 2000 Citizens Fire Academy volunteers with us. So he was there with me every single week and helped with all these things as well. They also participated in the smoke alarm blitz, as Mr. House said, and perhaps most important, they learned the why. They learned the why we do everything that it is that we do. They learned why our ladder truck needs to be 100 feet long and what that 100 feet gets us. They learned that the cost of a power cot pays for itself if it prevents one injury. And they learned that risk reduction is not a gimmick. I'd like to mirror what Natasha said also about not knowing what to expect and about being nervous on the first day, because I was super scared. I had no idea what was going to happen. The week leading up to the first class, we had 5 applicants. So obviously the class grew almost triple, and we did gain 1 student along the way. Looking at you guys, I truly, from the bottom of my heart, want to thank you all. Not just for showing up, but just making it a great experience for me. You guys were, I was able to show you guys all what I do, the CPR classes that I teach, the stop the bleed, the babysitting, the car seats. And I would say that this is probably one of the most rewarding things that I've ever done as far as an employee at the fire department here at Delhi Township. So thank you for that. You guys didn't just show up, but you were involved and you were engaged. Every week I got a call or a text from an instructor if I wasn't there telling me how much they liked you guys as well. So that's something to be proud of. It's something I was proud of. At the beginning, I mentioned all the differences of why we were here. One thing that we did is we made a great team. So the different varieties and the different natures of people, we came together and we made a great team. And with that, I would like to introduce all of the graduates. Carl Brown, come on down.
Will you let us know when you hit the Steelers fan, please?
I think that was him.
I've hit the Steelers fan.
I think we found it.
Carl was, I'm not going to give a bio of everybody. Carl was the student that we added, actually. So he contacted me after the first week. He was here working out, saw our flyer, and called and asked if he could join us. So it was super cool. We were blessed to have you, so thanks.
Good.
Roger Clark. George Dostie. Scott Farwick. Kim Goman. Greg Hartlob. Steve Howe. Sherry Jewell. Sharon Lape. Kathy Namath. Minnie Quach. Cheryl Seavey. Natasha Trux. Alex Waddell. And then one person that's not here is Malik Perry, so that's the only person that we didn't have this evening. I'm done speaking, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not done yet.
Not yet. I would just like to say on behalf of the Board of Trustees of Delhi Township, congratulations. Thank you for your participation. Thank you. We know that we'll see all of you again somewhere in this community working maybe on another fire blitz. I'm not sure what we'll be doing, Kevin, but I know this group talked about it, and I think they'll stick together and we'll work together. And we'd like you all to take this opportunity to come across, maybe start this way and come across so that each one of our trustees have an opportunity to congratulate you, okay? So thank you, everyone. Congratulations.
You have to ask somebody.
All we can do is pray. See you, Roger.
I wish I could have done it, but I was out.
On the front? Another day. Karen.
I know, I'm an implant. I used to live in Tri-Hill. Thank you.
See you.
Thank you, thank you.
Isn't it great to be
It's
vertical?
almost a second home. I only taught Tri-Hill and Delhi for 6 years. Thank you.
Even worse.
Thank you, thank you.
You want to do the picture or after that? Oh, no, we're going to do it
We're
after.
going to do it afterwards.
Swearing in.
The Fire Academy class of 2025 would like to just take this moment to say thank you to Kevin Kramer. Chief, we're not finished with you yet.
Definitely not. Okay, for
All right.
the second ceremony of the evening. And again, thanks to all the graduates. Looking forward to seeing their bright, shiny faces and their service in the future. Trustees tonight, first I'd like to call up Bridget Nagel. Bridget was born and raised in Delhi Township. She's a 2015 graduate of Oak Hills High School and completed her firefighter and EMT certifications with Butler Technical Public Safety. Bridget has also served with the City of Reading Fire Department. Bridget served with Delhi Township Fire Department for nearly a year and a half as a part-time firefighter EMT before being promoted full-time in January. She's completing her paramedic training with Butler Tech Public Safety now and anticipates completion of the program next April, should receive her paramedic certification before May of 2026. Ms. Nagel is a familiar face at all our charitable events, volunteering for whatever she can. We see her at all the events, Shop with the Cop and things like that. So we're happy to see her out there working with us off duty. I'd like to call up her mother, Mary Kay, who she has chosen to pin her this evening. And as you know, this is the first time we've done a swearing in this facility. So we're working out the bugs tonight. We just want to make sure it all goes flawless, for all the events to come. Next, I'd like to call up Robert RJ Lanougall. So RJ was born and raised in Green Township. He is a 2021 graduate of Oak Hills High School and completed a year at Northern Kentucky University, where he played for the men's soccer team. He completed his firefighter and EMT certifications through the Great Oaks Fire and Emergency Medical Rescue Academy in 2023. RJ has also served for Green Township Fire Department. RJ served with Delhi Township for a little over a year as a part-time firefighter EMT before being promoted to full-time in March. He is enrolled at Cincinnati State Paramedic Training Program and starts in August and anticipates completion of the program in August of 2026. I would like to introduce RJ's father, Rob, to pin him this evening. Megan Unger. Megan Unger is from Westlake, Ohio. She is a 2017 University of Cincinnati graduate in Communication Sciences and Disorders and completed her firefighter certification through Colerain Township Fire Department Recruit Program. Megan completed her paramedic certification through Cincinnati State in 2021, and like Ms. Nagel, has a real passion for volunteering her time to help others. Megan served also for Colerain Township Fire Department. She has served with Delhi for nearly a year and a half before being hired full-time in February. Megan has chosen her friend, Katrina Harmon, to come pin her this evening. And last but not least, Alex Reitmeyer. Alex Reitmeyer is from Burrow, Illinois. Perot, Illinois. Sorry. It's like ages ago, but we're good. Perot, Illinois, and served with the United States Air Force as an air traffic controller. He worked as a PSR for the Champaign, Illinois Police Department for 5 years before being encouraged to pursue firefighting. He completed his firefighter and EMT certifications through Cincinnati State and has worked for Delhi for about a year and a half as a part-time firefighter EMT before starting with Delhi full-time in a few weeks. Alex also has been serving with the City of Springdale Fire Department during his time here. He is completing paramedic training with Cincinnati State now and anticipates completion of the program soon and should receive his paramedic certification before September. Alex is joined here tonight and has asked his wife, Kristen, who will be pinning him tonight. Okay, Mrs. Seavey, would you join us for the oath? What's that? There you go. Come on over here.
You have a mic?
I got it. Get your mic.
Ready? I state your name. Raise your right hand. State your name. Megan. Did I hear Megan? All right. All right. Do hereby declare that I will support the Constitution of the United States, the Constitution of the State of Ohio, and that as a member of the Delhi Township Fire Department, my fundamental duty is to serve the people I swear to protect, to safeguard and preserve life, health, and property against fire and other perils. I will dedicate myself to the saving of life, preventing and suppressing fires, and performing other duties enacted and placed up to me. I recognize the badge of my office as a symbol of public faith and trust. As a member of the Delhi Township Fire Department. I accept this self-imposed and self-enforced obligation as my responsibility and make these promises upon my honor. Congratulations and welcome to the Delhi Township Fire Department.
Okay. So I do have some closing words. With 32 years in the fire service, I wish I would have had someone tell me what I'm about to share with you. 30 years from now, you won't regret your decision to serve this community. I can assure you that you made the right decision. This community will unconditionally support you throughout your career. This fire department will open any door and chart any path you need to blaze. As your next few years are filled with all the training and orientation you need to function at the entry level, remember who invested the time. Remember who invested the money. Remember those who saw value in you before your competency could be appreciated. I hope you hang on to those feelings of belonging. Let all these things soak into your soul. Then, when you have the opportunity down the road, and you have those legs on solid ground and your chin up, pay it forward. Share your knowledge, patience, and time with the group of firefighters that come after you. Almost every shift, you walk past the sign on the door, and it simply reads, "Welcome to Delhi Township Fire Department. You're reporting to duty at a firehouse, not a fire station. Have the same pride in it that you have in your own home. The people here are your family, not your coworkers. Treat them with the utmost respect because you might share your last breath with them. Congratulations to all of you.
All right, we do have a message from each of us to you, and then if you could file through. Trustee Davis?
Congratulations, well done. Again, as I said way back in the beginning of the meeting, Delhi is so blessed because of people like you who said yes. You said yes to serving to me what I consider one of the best damn townships in the state of Ohio and beyond. But I'll tell you what, I've been here all my life, and I've met so many along the way. And Chief, your words are inspiring when you talk about those, to come even after you. You make the place better each day, and then, but when you leave, it's that much better, and people pick up where you left off. So we have been honored and blessed to have so much professionalism through the decades serving the residents of Delhi. So thank you.
Trustee Sturts?
Obviously, the department and the chief has seen something in you to promote you to be among the best. And we truly believe Delhi is the best. And I hope you do take pride in that. And obviously, you must have seen something in Delhi to want to be here. And so thank you. We will be here to support you at all times. I think everybody will tell you. We do support our people. We support you to keep you safe so that you can keep our township safe. So thank you for that.
Thank you so much for choosing Delhi Township, and thank you to your families for being your support at home. I know that you're giving up your sons and your daughters to our Delhi Township Fire Department, and we promise to care and love them as you do. So thank you for choosing Delhi.
One of the highlights of being able to sit up here are times like these, welcoming you to the Delhi family, surrounded by your family and your new family here as well. And, it's very exciting. Thank you for choosing Delhi. Thank you for the families, and we appreciate your support of your son and daughter and your friend, your husband, your wife, for being here and giving them the support. So thank you for choosing Delhi.
Thank you. Chief, if you could have them pass by the...
Yes, way. Down front. Come around back. Come here. Yep. Come on back. Come on back. Yeah, you're right. Take it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Not a bad move. Some of them can't read.
All right, now, Chris, we're going to take a video pause and have some photos taken, so if we could, take the pause.
Are you ready?
All right, we're back on. Thank you, everyone, for the quick recess, for little photographs here. And we'll come back to the department reports. And the first will be Parks and Recreation, Director Randy Suppi.
Good evening. Just a couple quick updates. With the weather kind of clearing out just a hair, we are starting to get caught up on grass trimming and finally getting a few days to finish up some projects that will resume. Crew is starting to put in, lay out the dog park agility equipment down in the dog park. The ground is finally kind of drying up. And the same token, the trench crew is going to be coming out the end of this week, possibly early next week, to finish up the water drainage issues we had down by the water fountain areas. So as that goes, the water fountains will be coming up, so hopefully everything's going to start coming together fairly quick once we get going on it. And I guess it'll be coming up here. The only thing I have coming up, which I'm sure Administrator Miller will say, is our first concert coming up next Wednesday, the 4th, the Whammies, so 7 p.m.
All right.
So any other
Thank you.
questions, just let me know.
Anything, Trustee Sturts?
And we do have some entertainment this weekend up here.
Yeah, it's already scheduled, I believe Saturday night
Brizzy?
there. Yeah,
Yes.
yes.
Right. Nothing further. We'll move to the police department then. Chief Braun?
Resolution 2025-70 to approve the final Hamilton County 911 plan pursuant to Ohio Revised Code, Chapter 128, declaring an emergency and dispensing with the second reading.
Just to move the adoption of this resolution.
I second the adoption of this resolution.
Is there any discussion on this resolution, Chief?
Essentially, this is required by the ORC. They're just updating the plan from 1985.
Okay.
I move to dispense with the second reading of this resolution.
I second the motion to dispense with the second reading of this resolution.
All those in favor of the motion to dispense with the second reading?
Yes.
Yes. Mr. Luby, please call the roll.
Mr. Davis?
Yes.
Mrs. Sturts?
Yes.
Mrs. Seavey?
Yes. Resolution passes. Department update.
Just a couple quick things. Just want to remind everybody that we passed a resolution on April 30th for all of our parking lots, and it's going to go into effect on June 2nd. So it's going to be enforceable on June 2nd. It's for all of our parking lots.
Okay.
Thank you guys for showing up and showing us support on May 18th for our police memorial ceremony. That's always a humble experience, and as we celebrate those who gave it their all. So thank you for that. Piggybacking off of the fire department, we are going to have a Citizens Police Academy starting in September. We're finalizing everything, and we'll get it posted as soon as we get everything finalized. And just because it was mentioned earlier about response times, I checked so far this year, we're at 4.8 minutes as far as being at your front door, so 4.8 minutes.
Okay.
Great.
Any questions, Trustee Davis?
Nope, congratulations on that.
Yeah. Trustee Sturts?
No, thank you. Very good.
All right. Thank you, Chief. Public Works, we have a resolution. Mr. Luby.
Resolution 2025-71, imposing parking restrictions on Greenwell Avenue, directing the placement of signs, posting and publication in accordance with RC 505.17, and dispensing with the second reading.
I will introduce and move the adoption of this resolution.
I second the adoption of this resolution.
And discussion on this resolution. Mr. Rippinger?
Thank you, trustees. We received a few complaints on this, and we've been monitoring it. And we'd like to move forward and remove a couple more parking spaces. I thought it was kind of interesting. The last time we removed a large section around this corner, it was 1982. So I think just some things change, visibility and stuff, and we believe this should help out.
Okay.
Okay.
Move to dispense with the second reading of this resolution.
I second the motion to dispense with the second reading of this resolution.
All those in favor of the motion to dispense with the second reading?
Yes.
Yes. Mr. Luby, please call the roll.
Mr. Davis?
Yes.
Mrs. Sturts?
Yes.
Mrs. Seavey?
Yes. Resolution passes. Department update, Ron?
Yeah, just a little update on an upcoming project. It's about a year out, but this has been in the works for about 3 years. We applied for a grant through OKI, which is funded by the U.S. Department of Transportation. We did receive the funding. We've been working with an engineer, and this funding is geared toward traffic safety. I know I've mentioned this project a little bit at a couple meetings, but we actually have a visual we can put on it. I can't emphasize enough how important the timing was on this project. I don't know if it was really planned or luck or what have you, but just with this development finishing up and then Seaton's project underway and the communication through Administrator Schuyler or Miller, just working with utilities, the driveways, keeping the traffic flowing, sidewalks. It's really been a definite benefit to get all this done at this time. Construction is scheduled for about this time next year.
No.
And as you can see, we kind of did something on the other side of Delhi Pike, and it was the old Park Drive in 2010. It used to be a lane and a half, kind of like what Clemmy is now currently. And then we switched it to 3 lanes, which is what Clemmy will be sometime next summer. But I would think Seaton's project should be done, and then this one will be underway, which luckily we can still keep traffic flowing depending on any delays Seaton has. But I think it's going to work out good.
Okay. Thank you.
Any questions on it?
Trustee Davis?
Nope.
Trustee Sturts?
Nope.
All right. Thank you,
Okay,
Ron.
thanks.
Good plan.
All right, administration, we have a motion.
Motion to authorize the administrator to sign a letter of intent with Emmett's LLC regarding Seton Sports Complex and vacation of a portion of Clemmy Drive and shared parking agreement.
I introduce and move the adoption of this resolution. Am I on there?
The motion.
And I don't want to do that. I'm sorry, I got lost on the picture, and I got lost of you saying Clemmy into 3 lanes, Ron, right? Did that,
Back to it, yep.
Yeah, well, kinda.
Going to widen it.
3 lanes just
3 lanes and a sidewalk, yeah.
okay,
from this driveway out to Delhi Pike.
okay, thank you. So moved on the motion.
A second.
All those in favor? Yes.
Yes.
Motion approved. All right, administrators report, Mr. Miller?
Yes, ma'am. So the letter of intent that I'm signing, again, that's it's an informal, kind of a preliminary agreement, essentially, that we're going to do our part of a county process to vacate the southern portion of Clemmy, actually the portion beyond our entrance drive. That is going to be developed as part of the Seton parking lot. And with that vacation and our agreement to allow the donation of that full vacated right-of-way to go to, what's Emmett's LLC, but essentially Seton, we're getting full shared access of the Seton parking lot. So if we have a large event here, there's no soccer game going on, we would have that overflow parking. One of the big things, the biggest concerns we had here is, what if we have a large event going on here? How does that impact our Veridian residents? How does that impact, the other activities and operations of Delhi Town Square? This is going to alleviate a lot of that. So, I don't necessarily seeing us use that parking every day, but there's going to be big events here, and we've got a lot coming even this summer. So, having that relief and that partnership with Seton is going to be a big help. So, other than that, warranty work on this site is underway. We've had Feldkamp on the roof. It feels a little better in here. I know we had some humidity issues. Bruce has been out on site reworking some of the catch basins, and we'll have the electricians back in here to take care of some of their punch list items. All told, we've got about 60 ongoing warranty issues, and every single one of them is going to have to be checked off. So it's the process and kind of growing pains of a new building. I should also mention at this time, we're hiring. We are looking for a marketing and events director to run the Delhi Event Center. So that position is up at multiple places right now. I believe it's the Events Council, which is as well as the Meeting Professionals Institute. I think those are the MPI. It's up at their sites. Our website, of course, Center for Local Government. Definitely we're getting some good responses, but just wanted to give a plug, during this time. And finally, it's tax budget season. Melissa is working on the preliminary framework of the tax budget right now, and that's getting teed up for a July approval. So that should be coming to you guys here soon. That's all I have for right now, unless you guys have any questions.
Thank you, Mr. Miller. Trustee Davis?
No, good.
Trustee Sturts?
No, thank you very much.
All right, we are going to move to community development, and Director Roach is going to lead us through a new format of how we're going to read and address each separate nuisance, okay? So you want to coach us through this, Director Roach?
Yep. Good evening, trustees. Yeah, so we're going to try this format tonight since we have a few more than normal. The good news is we started out with around 44. We were able to remove about 15 in the past couple of days. Still have 29, but that's not horrible. So we lumped all excessive vegetations together, so between Administrator Miller and Mr. Luby, they're going to read the addresses and the resolutions, and the first 14 will be for excessive vegetation only. Then your board will make one motion to approve or not approve the 14 excessive vegetation. I'm not going to comment on each one, and unless you have a specific question, then we'll stop and I can answer your questions.
But they will each come up on the, as a visual.
You'll have your individual pictures up here like you normally do. And like I said, it's just the same reading. Like I said, I think Administrator Miller's going to read the addresses.
So just for clarification, I'm going to read the addresses for the PowerPoint presentation, okay? We'll go through the pictures. Stop me at any time if you have any questions, and Director Roach will provide any, comments or answer those questions.
Okay.
All right? We're going to read all 29 resolution titles at once after the presentation is over, okay? And then the board will make one motion to adopt all of the resolutions. So resolution number ... through ... Okay?
Okay.
And so one action of the board will cover all 29 resolutions.
Okay.
And again,
So we'll start the PowerPoint presentation, starting with,
1 second, Mr. Miller, I'm sorry. And just for the record, the trustees not only will have seen each one of these properties by virtue of looking at every single resolution, there are pictures attached to the resolution. So not only will the trustees see them and sign them before, they'll also be on the screen through Mr. Miller, and they will have seen all of them. So there is no due process issue, or there's no issue with the trustees not specifically making determinations about each individual property. This is just simply so we don't go through 29 different votes.
yep.
Okay.
And I can also say that Director Roach or a member of his staff has personally looked at each one of these properties within the last 48 hours, 36 hours, I suppose.
Probably 36, yes, that's
Yep.
correct. Between yesterday and this morning, yes.
Okay.
And again, if the trustees have any question about any property, stop it, and then we can pull that one out of the way if you don't think that's a nuisance. So you're looking at every single one of these. It's just a matter of how we read it, so we don't read it 29 times.
Okay.
So presentation first. 4219 Delhi Pike. And the first 14 are Tallgrass. 3940 Delhi Pike. 328 Bob Drive. 373 Robin Lane. 494 Greenwell Avenue. 885 Sun Creek Court. 3912 Delhi Pike. 3930 Delhi Pike. 4041 Delhi Pike. 4207 Delhi Pike. 5321 Plum Ridge. 5330 Plum Ridge Drive. 5122 Chantilly Drive. 5353 Meadowwood Court. And that's the last of the tall grass?
That's the completion of all the excessive vegetation. Now, the next 15 addresses that Administrator Miller are going to read off are for debris.
Okay. 5353, I'm sorry. There we go. 5346 Dell Hill Drive. 4810 Mayhew Avenue. 5037 Chantilly Drive. 1204 Clovedale Avenue. 443 Vaughn Road. 461 Moorview Drive. 623 Lullaby Court. Is that right? Okay. 694 Karnak Court. There we go. 5808 Country View Terrace. 494 Greenwell Avenue. 885 Sun Creek Court, 5110 Foley Road, Foley Road with parcel ID 540-0010-0140. 416 Greenwell Avenue, 430 Foley Road, 5346 Dell Hill Drive.
I know,
Oh, I'm sorry, that's the abatement.
Yeah.
Scratch that one. Sorry. There we go. That concludes the trash and debris.
Ready?
Okay.
You have your drink ready?
All right. If you want a break, I'll take over.
All right, thanks. All right, so we have Resolution 2025-72, declaring nuisance for excessive vegetation at 4219 Delhi Pike, declaring an emergency and dispensing with a second reading. Resolution 2025-73, declaring nuisance for excessive vegetation at 3940 Delhi Pike, declaring an emergency and dispensing with a second reading. Resolution 2025-74, declaring nuisance for excessive vegetation at 328 Bob Drive, declaring an emergency and dispensing with a second reading. Resolution 2025-75, declaring nuisance for excessive vegetation at 373 Robin Lane, declaring an emergency and dispensing with a second reading. Resolution 2025-76, declaring nuisance for excessive vegetation at 494 Greenwell Avenue, declaring an emergency and dispensing with a second reading. Resolution 2025-77, declaring nuisance for excessive vegetation at 885 Sun Creek Court, declaring an emergency and dispensing with a second reading. Resolution 2025-78, declaring nuisance for excessive vegetation at 3912 Delhi Pike, declaring an emergency and dispensing with a second reading. Resolution 2025-79, declaring nuisance for excessive vegetation at 3930 Delhi Pike, declaring an emergency and dispensing with a second reading. Resolution 2025-80, declaring nuisance for excessive vegetation at 4041 Delhi Pike, declaring an emergency and dispensing with a second reading. Resolution 2025-81, declaring nuisance for excessive vegetation at 4207 Delhi Pike, declaring an emergency and dispensing with a second reading. Resolution 2025-82, declaring nuisance for excessive vegetation at 5321 Plum Ridge Drive, declaring an emergency and dispensing with the second reading. Resolution 2025-83, declaring nuisance for excessive vegetation at 5330 Plum Ridge Drive, declaring an emergency and dispensing with the second reading. Resolution 2025-84, declaring nuisance for excessive vegetation at 5122 Chantilly Drive, declaring an emergency and dispensing with a second reading. Resolution 2025-85, declaring nuisance for excessive vegetation at 5353 Meadowwood Court, declaring an emergency and dispensing with a second reading. Resolution 2025-86, declaring nuisance for accumulated debris at 5346 Dell Hill Drive, declaring an emergency and dispensing with a second reading. Resolution 2025-87, declaring nuisance for accumulated debris at 4810 Mayhew Avenue, declaring an emergency and dispensing with a second reading. Resolution 2025-88, declaring nuisance for accumulated debris at 5037 Chantilly Drive, declaring an emergency and dispensing with a second reading. Resolution 2025-89, declaring nuisance for accumulated debris at 1204 Covedale Avenue, declaring an emergency and dispensing with a second reading. Resolution 2025-90, declaring nuisance for accumulated debris at 443 Vaughn Road, declaring an emergency and dispensing with a second reading. Resolution 2025-91, declaring nuisance for accumulated debris at 461 Moorview Drive, declaring an emergency and dispensing with a second reading. Resolution 2025-92, declaring nuisance for accumulated debris at 623 Lullaby Court, declaring an emergency and dispensing with a second reading. Resolution 2025-93, declaring nuisance for accumulated debris at 694 Carnac Court, declaring an emergency and dispensing with a second reading. Resolution 2025-94, declaring nuisance for accumulated debris at 5808 Country View Terrace, declaring an emergency and dispensing with a second reading. Resolution 2025-95, declaring nuisance for accumulated debris at 494 Greenwell Avenue, declaring an emergency and dispensing with a second reading. Resolution 2025-96, declaring nuisance for accumulated debris at 885 Sun Creek Court, declaring an emergency and dispensing with the second reading. Resolution 2025-97, declaring nuisance for accumulated debris at 5110 Foley Road, declaring an emergency and dispensing with the second reading. Resolution 2025-98, declaring nuisance for accumulated debris at Foley Road, parcel 540-0010-0140, declaring an emergency and dispensing with the second reading. Resolution 2025-99, declaring nuisance for accumulated debris at 416 Greenwell Avenue, declaring an emergency and dispensing with the second reading. Resolution 2025-100, declaring nuisance for accumulated debris at 430 Foley Road, declaring an emergency and dispensing with the second reading.
I will introduce and move the adoption of resolutions 2025-072 through 2025-100.
I second the adoption of the aforementioned resolutions.
Any discussion on these resolutions?
Yes, one piece. Fiscal Officer Luby mentioned before with the graduations, how that's a time that you enjoy. It's one of the fun things that we get to do as trustees and the elected officials. I can assure you, and for those watching, those here in the House, this is not fun. When we have to go through the 29 resolutions to help properties get cleaned up and such, it's just really tough. And looking at some of the homes that were on there, and I know us that have been here for decades, some of these homes that you've seen, you grew up looking at, and they were just beautiful, beautiful. And you see how just the wear and tear and how some of it's gone down, much less other things with people just throwing mattresses, putting them wherever, doing, it's just so disheartening. But again, it's to keep Delhi clean, it's to keep it looking as nice as it does. But this is not something fun that we enjoy doing. We wish that we didn't have to do any nuisance resolutions. Thank you. I move to dispense with the second reading of this resolution.
I second the motion to dispense with the second reading of the resolutions.
All those in favor of the motion to dispense with the second reading?
Yes?
Yes. Mr. Luby, please call the roll.
Mr. Davis?
Yes.
Mrs. Sturts?
Yes.
Mrs. Seavey?
Yes. Resolution passes.
Also on that, and I know we've faced this before, Board, some, like we might have some elderly out there, like I saw one tree that had fallen in the back. If in fact any of the homes that we just had, if it's elderly or handicapped or challenged, let us know. Let us know, because there are groups, there are people out there who would be willing to help. But we know, 99.9% of those passed are not. It's just from other situations. But we always want to help those that can't help themselves, so please.
And adding insult to injury is the fact that we've had such a rainy season.
Yeah.
And things are just growing crazy. But, we're looking forward to a few dry days, so get your mowers out and get your address off the nuisance list. That would be a great, great thing to do. All right, thank you. Abatement resolution, Mr. Luby?
Resolution 2025-101, certifying violation abatement expenses for 5346 Adele Hill Drive to the county auditor for assessment, declaring an emergency and dispensing with the second reading.
I introduce and move the adoption of this resolution.
I second the adoption of this resolution.
And discussion on this resolution?
After a cleanup, this is a resolution that we sent to Hamilton County auditors to hopefully recoup some of the township's expenses, make the June tax duplicate.
And what did that cost them to not mow their lawn?
I believe, I don't have it in front of me, Trustee Sturts, but I believe it was around $450.
$450. Okay.
Okay, and Director Roach, we will not be reimbursed by the county in any quick matter of time.
Not until
This actually shows up as a lien on your taxes.
That's correct, and we won't see any of our funds returned to us until other property transfers.
Yes.
Move to dispense with the second reading of this resolution.
I second the motion to dispense with the second reading of this resolution.
All those in favor of the motion to dispense with the second reading?
Yes.
Yes. Mr. Luby, please call the roll.
Mr. Davis?
Yes.
Mrs. Sturts?
Yes.
Mrs. Seavey?
Yes. Resolution passes. Department update then?
Just one quick thing, if I can give us a PSA real quick. Like you said, this is not a free service that the township offers. We will charge you our contractor's fees, we will charge you administrative cost, and like you said, it will be a lien against your property. So this is not a free service that the township offers.
Right.
That's all I had this evening, unless you have questions for me.
Thank you. Questions?
No, it's sad that has to happen when you have people out there that would cut it for $30, for $25, just to make a couple dollars, but okay. It looks great now, it's beautiful.
All right, moving ahead then, we do have a sign-in for public comment this evening.
Mrs. Seavey, you got a question?
Okay.
Are we going to go back and do the motions for the fire department? We skipped over the
He
the
coming back
motions
in?
for the-
Yeah, we did.
He didn't come back.
He must have got excited and
Do you want me to go get him?
I think it's just I think it's some
Resignations.
administrative items, yeah. So,
We okay just doing
Let's
the
see.
motions without him?
Is there an
Doing
expiration
without
on
him?
that, Law Director?
we don't need comment, but,
No. He'll just tell us where they're going, and,
yeah.
yeah, one's full-time with Green, and, yeah. Okay.
All right, so that, do you want to go back then to fire department voluntary resignations? Is
Yep.
that what
Yeah,
what you'd
that's
like to do, Mr. Luby?
Yep.
Okay.
All right.
Motion?
We have a motion to accept the voluntary resignation of part-time firefighter EMT Adam J. Seckenheim, effective May 14th, 2025.
So moved.
Second?
All those in favor?
Yes.
Yes. Motion approved.
Good luck, Adam.
Motion to accept the voluntary resignation of part-time firefighter EMT Nathaniel A. Crowley, effective May 19th, 2025.
So moved.
Second?
All those in favor?
Yes.
Motion approved.
Good luck.
Motion to accept the voluntary resignation of part-time firefighter EMT Braden R. Wheel, effective June 7th, 2025.
So moved.
Second?
All those in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, motion approved. Thank you for your service, and best of luck in your new positions. All right, then, I do believe now we're at public comments. Is that correct, Mr. Luby?
Yep, we're good.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Robert Smith?
Just make sure that green light's on the base.
Oh, you don't want to really know. My name's Robert Smith. I live at 353 Greenwell. I've been a resident of Delhi for 35 years. I'm 77, so half my life. I love it up here. My wife Bernadine feels the same way I do. It's a great place. We moved up here to get away from Cincinnati and all that that entails. We come up here for peace and quiet and harmony, okay, and we found that. Until they decided to build this. And we've got some questions about this, if I could. I know this is just an artist's rendering, but you notice all the green around it? They came down. My house sits right here where you can't see it, okay? Just missed. It's right there. See all this green? I've been talking to the construction guys down there, all nice guys, and they told me that the engineers, or whoever, came down a few days ago and said, plans have changed. I don't know, is that? No, Parks and Recreation. Said, plans have changed, and they promptly started taking all of this right here out. First, it was the trees, and they got almost all of them out. And then yesterday morning, bright and early, or was it this morning? This morning, they come down with what basically is a big bush hog attached to one of their small excavators. Started taking all the bushes and what was left of the smaller trees, which was right on the property line, and I thought this was real cute. They didn't come over the neighbor's property line or mine. No, they put it on an excavator, and they reached up real high to the top of the tree and just ground it right down to the ground so they wouldn't have to come around on the property line to take the tree out. They just ground it until it was gone. So now, all of this is gone. Where? From 4 houses. All the rest of it's still there. It's gone from my house, the 2 houses next to me. Well, no, not that one. He's still got his. My house and the 3 houses next to me. Why? What does that little bit of greenery have to do with all of this? Nothing. Absolutely nothing that I can determine, because all of this is up here. Then there's this hill that they've created, made worse. It was still a bit of a hill, going right down into my yard, right within an inch of my yard. And I think they would have got a lot closer, except I went down there and spoke very nicely to Skip, the excavator operator, who had come over to my fence to see if he could get basically in my yard to take this big tree down that his excavator couldn't get around to knock down. Otherwise, it would have been right in my yard, which is, if you want to see something beautiful besides all that nonsense you just dealt with, come look at our backyard. We have spent upwards of $15,000 or more beautifying Delhi. We have planted 30, 40 trees of various sizes and flowers, but at any rate, why is this gone? Why did they change all of a sudden the fact that they were going to leave this here, which hid all of the lights, all of the mess, all of the nonsense, and would have drowned out much of the screaming and carrying on that these little kids are going to be doing when they're there playing? Of course, they're children. That's what they're going to do. They scream and have a good time. Now, all these 80-foot lights are going to be shining right in our bedrooms because this is the back of our homes.
The Seton Center.
My wife and I have made ours beautiful. We have completely rebuilt this Cape Cod, inside and out. We have probably we paid $62,000 for that house 35 years ago. I know for a fact I've got all the receipts from what we've done. We have spent over $50,000, and this is going back 30-some years, on remodeling. We just gutted the kitchen and bathroom and spent way over $30,000 on that. What are they doing this for? And I asked the guy in the trailer, Chad, I think is his name.
Chad.
Yeah, real piece of work. I asked him, when it's all said and done, what are you going to do about replacing, if anything, all these trees and our peace of mind? And he said, they're going to build a 6-foot fence, a privacy fence. And I said, oh, really? I said, as we're looking at it right now, the way it is right now, I said, ground level, 6 foot from here, or are you doing more work? And he said, pretty much right exactly where it's at. And I just kind of laughed. I said, 80-foot lights, a 6-foot privacy fence. I said, slight 74-foot gap there, because standing where we were, if you look across that field, that 6-foot fence isn't going to come anywhere near blocking out those lights. And from my understanding from Mr. Rochier, the Delhi rules on lights shining around pertains to the light hitting your property. Well, it's not going to hit our property. It's going to be way too far away. Is there anything that you guys can do or say to these people?
Mr. Miller, I thought we discussed this
Something about
lighting issue with the Seton Center earlier on. And I
Can we
thought they
get them
had
to replant
provided,
some trees or
or
something?
the landscaping. So is there
Right,
anything that
so-
you can add to this?
I will try to kind of
I
unwind
mean, I
all
really have a
this.
question.
Yep.
Why take this out? It serves, I mean, please, come look yourselves. Has anybody ever looked or questioned at anything these people are doing down here?
It's not a so first off, I'm not going to speak for Seton. I can't do that. This is the first time hearing that they're not going to have landscaping versus, a fence.
They
So-
may be putting some kind of landscaping
Right.
in, but not to block,
Right.
I mean, a 6-foot fence. There's nothing higher than that going
So
back.
they did receive a BZA variance for the field lights, okay? What I can say about that is there's a photometric plan that they have to meet, essentially foot candles at the property line. So, yes, you will not, you're not supposed to have, will you be able to look up and see a light when it's on? Sure, you can look, you can look down the street and see lights. The question is are you going to have any glare in your property? And the answer is no. You should not have that because the photometric, they will have to abide by the photometric plan. Now, what I can say is, and I think Tony will back me up here, these were private properties sold to another private entity.
He
And
explained all
with,
that to
with the exception of the height of those lights, Everything else on that property, they are doing within the zoning code. So they didn't have to come in front of zoning commission, they didn't have to come in front of the Board of Trustees. Everything they're doing over there, they're doing within the existing, the existing limits of the zoning code. So they're essentially, they are exercising their private property rights just like anybody else can. And I don't have any leverage on that. The township does not.
Can a request be made by you guys?
Well, what
Can you
I-
at least request?
Yeah, that's why I'm here tonight, just asking for any
Any
kind of help,
assistance.
anybody
I think,
at
Mr.
all.
Miller, we need to have communication with Seton that the Smiths and other residents of Greenwell have got some questions and maybe get some direct answers from them.
So, and this is where.
Because you're entitled to that.
So
Oh,
this
I can't
is.
possibly talk to this guy running the construction site again. He is rude, arrogant, and quite frankly, very
Mr. Smith,
insulting.
you won't do it. The township will
Yeah, I would
talk
like
to
someone
them.
else to talk to him. I can't.
Okay.
With that being said, yes, we will continue to work with representatives from Seton, including the construction group, to get some answers. What I would also like to offer is contact with the owner's rep, not the construction guy, but the actual person that is representing Seton on this project. So I can get with you offline and make that connection and, tell him your concerns. And, I was actually texting with him over your comments, and he said, we have every intention of working with the bordering neighbors. So I know that's a short, I know
I'm
that's
not
a short
asking for the
text and it's
world.
empty words right now, but, there's not a period at the end of the sentence, okay? The big trees, the mature trees are gone.
They will be.
Well, I
I mean, I have
understand
a
that.
very, very good
But
view of your building.
yeah, I can at least get you in contact with the owner's rep while we continue to work with the contractors on site.
May I
So-
make one statement, one
Sure.
comment? Before this project started, our backyard had an empty lot behind it and a corner lot of woods, okay, and then our neighbors. Our patio in the back, we have a beautiful gazebo. He said that he's 77, I'm 67. We sit out there in the evening and have peace. We have bird baths, we have bird houses, we have bird feeders, we have hummingbird feeders. We love our nature. We love the privacy of our backyard. Now here we are in our retirement, and we can see the Viridian. We can see you guys.
All of it.
From our
all the
patio,
lights.
From my kitchen window, all the lights at night. The woods are gone.
Birds are gone.
The birds are. We just want some of our.
The animals are
back.
gone. We
You
used
know?
to have lots of animals.
We spent.
I would
all of
like our Seton
lives-
representatives to actually hear the video of these comments.
I have every
Have
expectation
them,
they will.
and have them address
Yep.
it.
I mean, nobody, and don't take me wrong, I know it's not your fault, but I doubt very seriously if anybody gave a hoot in hell about the environmental impact of this thing so far as the wildlife goes. I know, well, I'm not going to say that, but
We just spent our whole
me and that guy didn't
lives
get
doing
along too
this.
well, but, I mean, there's so many little things that, people just don't think of, And here we are. Those hummingbirds came all the way from Mexico to hit our bird feeders, They're so cute. But, I'm not asking for much. If they can spend 16-point-something million on this, quite frankly, useless nightmare they're putting in our backyard, they can spend a few grand for a couple of trees.
Right.
I'm good at planting trees. I'll put them in. Just drive
Well-
them up to my driveway and get out of the way, and boy, I'll take them, put them right where they want them. I'll put them on that hill they created.
I'm sorry that you're experiencing this, but I thank you so much for sharing it, and we will
Thank you.
continue to share it as well. Thank you, Mr. Smith.
Appreciate that. And I wish they were still here. I wanted to tell the fire and paramedics. They
might
saved
be
my
out
life
there.
20 years
They'll
ago.
see you.
They
Yep.
saved
Mr.
my
Smith.
life. I had a heart attack here I am. What great guys.
Yeah.
Trustee Davis, you had a question?
Yeah, I have a
for Mr.
question.
Smith?
Mr. Smith, were you, was it 353?
Yeah.
350, were you there when the brand-new UDF came in?
Yeah.
Okay, so were you part of that discussion or anything? Because when UDF was,
Quite frankly, sir, that was so long ago. I'm on so many medications.
okay.
It
But I'm saying, as a
affects my memory.
neighbor, were you involved with any of the concerns when UDF said, we're going to build a brand-new UDF across the street with gas pumps and everything, which is literally just a few doors up from you, is that correct?
10, 12 houses.
Yeah, so in that area, but this discussion we're having is throwing me back into a time warp when UDF was coming in, and they were adamant, saying, no, we're not doing anything, and the neighbors there, Terry Garrett, his mom lived there, and Terry, in fact, we just talked to
And we took down Fifth Third Bank at that corner.
Fifth Third Bank
And
and all
another
of
house.
it.
So I had to be here, but I.
And another house.
No, and by the way, this is great. This is government in action. You should be here. I'd rather see this than reading it on some social media webpage where that's not going to get anything accomplished.
I don't do that.
But just today, I was talking with Terry Garrett, and he owns the house right next to the dairy. My point is, the dairy was adamant they weren't going to do a dang thing about it, and the greenery, they weren't going to do anything. But it came from people like yourself looking up saying, could we do something here? You totally are destroying what we've come to know. Granted, it's a private sale. Granted, they had every right to buy the property and do everything, whatever. We certainly will do what we can do, and I can assure you, Administrator Miller is going to follow up with Seaton and see what we can do. The guy in the trailer, I hate hearing that. I know you said what his name, Chad or something like that, but he's not the PR guy. He's down there doing a whole different job. But I can assure you, it doesn't fall on deaf ears.
No.
But I think looking up and being here, saying something like, hey, can we do something more than just a 6-foot fence? You know, we've dumped tons of money into our properties to keep them nice. So I make sure that Mr. Miller has your phone
And
numbers and everything.
early on, the Seton Group did guarantee us that type of protection to our neighbors and our residents, so hold them to it.
They originally left that corner of woods, which blocked all that.
Yeah, my next door
Blocks
neighbor
it
on
all.
facing my house, the left, why, you can't see anything past all the trees on his house. They're not touching them.
But the point I was making is,
So, you know.
originally, they were gonna leave them. I don't know why they changed their mind and decided.
That's the thing that irritates me the most. They were there, and they weren't going to touch them, and we were just going to have to put up with a bunch of noise, which is fine.
Which
I
we
mean,
could deal
kids
with,
make noise.
you know.
It's what they do. It's what they're there for. You know, that and to
we've
wet
got-
their diapers, but.
We've got our own kids
You
and
know.
grandkids, you know, that's not the issue, you know? The issue is our privacy and our nature preserve that we had.
Yeah.
Yeah, and don't bring too much
Destroyed.
business in. We
Well,
don't want Delhi to
again,
turn into New York.
I'm sorry you're experiencing this, but we've heard you, and we'll take it forward. Thank you.
Yeah.
Do me a favor, if you don't mind. Please give Mr. Roach your contact information, and we will follow up with you. It'll probably be longer than tomorrow, but certainly by Friday, you will hear from us.
Can't thank you enough for hearing me out. Appreciate folks. Thank you.
And if you don't hear, from them by Friday, you call one of us up here. We will make sure, I guarantee you.
Mrs. Miller, what is it
And
that
then
you're?
I'll get a call from them.
Yeah.
Mrs. Miller, what was it, Smith, what was it that you said you were specifically asking for?
Put green back on that hill.
That's what you want is green back on the hill. Okay.
Green back on the hill.
This is where the hill is.
Okay.
This is an empty field. This is our backyard, our neighbor's backyard. And for some reason, they took these woods out. Those
Okay.
trees blocked everything. Because behind my neighbor's yard was the rest of, was the woods. This corner of woods.
All right.
Behind us was an empty field. So we could see
The
the
construction.
very, very tail end
Yeah.
of construction. All the construction's up here. But now with this gone, I mean, we can see the rest. Where's Bill?
Yeah.
We
Well,
can see the whole thing.
Right. Okay.
That was all. What it is this comes up like a hill.
Right.
That's where they're gonna put the fence. This hill is maybe, I'm gonna guess 10.
Okay. We got it.
All right. You got that? All right.
Right.
Well, thank you.
And we'll dig in, yeah.
Yeah, we will follow up with this. The only other thing I'll say on this matter for now is there are some serious elevation changes. They are regrading. Somehow they're going to get a flat enough area to have a soccer and lacrosse field and track back there. So, I don't know if they had to do that for, in order to make all the slopes correct, but every plan I've seen for this has landscaping. So, we will follow up, I promise you.
And at the bottom of that hill, where all of these properties, these 4 properties come together,
There's a creek that runs through all there, yeah. And
right
that's,
where they took it out to that property line, they're dumping dirt. If
Yeah.
they clog up this,
I'm sure they won't clog that up.
yeah.
They'll take care of all the
What
drainage.
you see right now is preliminary
Temporary.
grading. There's that giant dirt pile, that's not staying there like that. Everything is getting reworked. So they are at the very beginning stages of this project. So, yeah, like I said, I'm sorry to see the trees go too, but we'll have to keep working with them, and we will get you into the conversation. You have my word. Yep.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for coming and telling.
And we do have announcement of community events, Mr. Miller?
We do indeed, yes, ma'am. All right. Announcing our Delhi Summer Concert Series for 2025. Concerts are held at our Delhi Park Pavilion at 7 p.m. until 9:30 p.m. First off, coming up, June 4th, the Whammies, followed by June 18th, the Cincinnati Transit Authority, then the Eagles Project on July 23rd, followed by Deviate on August 6th, then the Menus on August 20th, and wrapping up our season with Forever Diamond on September 3rd. Food and drinks are available for purchase. No coolers, please. Our Delhi Farmers Market opening day is Saturday, June 7th. Come on out and see our vendors. It'll be held every Saturday from 9 a.m. until noon at Clearview Lake on Foley Road. The 2025 Health and Wellness Fair is Saturday, May 31st, and it'll run from 10 a.m. until 2 p.m. This is sponsored by Oak Hills Local School District and Delhi Athletic Club. Join us at the Delhi Athletic Club for a day filled with activities to boost your well-being, including fitness classes to health education classes. This event has everything you need to kickstart your journey to a healthier lifestyle. And we do not have any additional cards for this, but I do want to put a plug in. As it stands right now, for this summer season coming up, we have over 20 events and performances scheduled for out here on the lawn and in the event center for DTS. So over 20 right now with additional events being planned. So those will be posted on the Township website, on the Delhi Event Center website coming up, and check us out on all of our Facebook pages. We will be getting the word out.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Miller.
I'd like to see that list.
Please?
I would like to see that list.
Absolutely. Yeah,
Okay, thank you.
And I can, if you want me to read off some of those, I
No,
can.
no, that's fine. I would just like
All
to see
right.
it.
We will push that out.
Thank you.
Okay. We do have cause for executive session this evening. So, Mr. Luby, could we have the motion, please?
We have a motion to retire to executive session to consider the appointment, employment, dismissal, discipline, promotion, demotion, and/or compensation of a public employee of the township and pending and imminent litigation.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Luby, please call the roll.
Mr. Davis.
Mr. Davis.
Yes.
Sorry, it's my fault.
Mrs. Sturts.
Yes.
Mrs. Seavey.
Yes. Motion approved, and we will retire now to executive session, and I invite all of you to join us at our next regular meeting, which will be Wednesday, June the 11th at 6 p.m. here in Delhi Town Square. In the meantime, stay safe out there, and we'll see you June the 11th.